All right, happy Monday, guys. It is gross outside, which is why we're under the cover, so none of us get wet. Let's get right into it. Over the weekend, we had MLS playoffs, the first leg of the conference semifinals. Columbus Crew continuing what is probably the coolest story in sports, one of the coolest stories in sports right now. Their fan base fought so hard to keep them from being moved. It looks like they're going to stay, and now they are up 1-0 in the first leg of their tie against Red Bulls, who won the Supporters Shield. They are bigger, they are favorites over Columbus Crew. But again, this team, like, they can't die. They won't be killed. Giassi Zardes is kind of a player for me who kind of embodies this Columbus Crew team. Like, almost looked dead and gone. Almost looked like his career was on the downward path. And now he scored 21 goals this season. Probably deserves the comeback player of the year, in my opinion. Zach Steffen, who is my keeper for the playoff power trip. 4 saves, another clean sheet. My dude is working. It looks like the crew keep gaining momentum. They started off the season tough. It was bad all around, on and off the pitch, but now they keep growing in strength. So it's really interesting. Jack Ware has a question. Is there any hope for the Red Bulls going into leg 2? Absolutely. I think you don't win the Supporters Shield with a record number of points without being a good team. I think they need to be more clinical in front of goal. I think more decisive in the attacking third. They need another solid game. Tyler Adams had a really good game yesterday. I think the rest of the team probably kind of let him down a little bit, but they need another great game from him. They need to tighten up in the back, but they're going back to Red Bull Arena. They're going back home. They are the Supporters Shield holders. They are a very good team. So this is far from over. I absolutely think they have a shot to go and win this one. Ideally, for me, they would win 1-0. Columbus Crew would only concede 1 goal, and then Red Bulls would win in pens, just selfishly for the playoff power trip. Guys, like always, we will be giving away a t-shirt, so get down, answer all 4 questions throughout the episode. The first one for this one is Columbus Crew, New York Red Bulls, who is going through after this match? Very straight up, who's going through. Next, we're gonna stay New York. We're gonna talk New York City FC versus Atlanta. This one was a really, really scrappy game to me. It was like very, very frantic. But for Atlanta, they got Miguel Almiron back, and you can see immediately, like, when he comes back into that team, how important he is to the team. Like, he's linked to Arsenal. He's linked to big clubs in Europe. He is the central focal point of that team on the attacking end. But what I've been most impressed about from Atlanta, especially in this New York game, is that they actually looked decently solid in the back. I thought that was always their biggest issue going into playoffs, is that they didn't look great in the back, but if they can keep that midfield, Laurentowicz, Remedi, and Nagbe all working together in midfield, working hard on the defensive side of the ball with Gonzalez Perez and Parkhurst, both played an incredible game yesterday. I don't think David Villa really got much of a sniff. New York kind of looked labored when they had the ball. And Atlanta, if they can continue to play like that throughout the playoffs, I legitimately, and this is one of the questions, Thomas Dew, can Atlanta United win the MLS Cup this year? I legitimately think they do. They are in my probably 3 favorites. I would say still, and we'll talk about this later, Sporting for me. I think Red Bull are up there, and Atlanta. One of the coolest things for me is this game really kind of represented a lot of the cultural shift that's happened in soccer. Like, you see, like, Jesus Nice from Jesus and Mero is in is in full New York gear. No, Andrew hates that, sorry. But Waka Flocka showed up in New York, wasn't even supposed to be there, showed up to support Atlanta. And when he was asked, we'll probably have a clip of this, someone asked him, like, would you rather Atlanta win the cup or win a Grammy? He didn't even think about it.
Man, to be honest with you, I'm not gonna lie, like, that'll mean a lot to Atlanta. That'll show the growth in Atlanta. That'll show where we going in the future. And that'll put the city already behind. We'd be sold out 55,000 plus all the time. But it'll make a harder impact. It'll make a bigger name. It'll make kids more happy to play football. I mean, soccer. I've been in Europe, sorry. Soccer, so it'd be great.
What would you rather have, Atlanta United win it all or a Grammy for Best Hip Hop Artist?
Oh, Atlanta United win it all. That's my Grammy.
That's it?
Of course.
Shane McGaley asks, do you think Josef Martinez deserves another shot at Europe during the offseason? I think when you have a, I think, 24, 25-year-old goal scorer who can find the back of the net, he's always going to be wanted in Europe at the biggest clubs. And I think he deserves to go play at a big club. He deserves to get a shot in Europe. And again, I've said this in Walk Talk before, I really think MLS should, at this point, be a development league. So we're a place where Josef Martinez can come in, score 30 goals a season, a couple seasons, and go find a better move, not necessarily a better move, a bigger move to a European club, and then they get that money and buy more young players and keep playing exciting soccer, and that's how it works. The cycle keeps going. So for you guys, the second question of the day is New York City FC, Atlanta United. Who's going through for that one? Again, first one was Columbus Crew, New York Red Bulls. Who's going through? Second one, New York City FC, Atlanta. All right, guys, third up, we got the Portland Timbers, Seattle Sounders, Cascadia Cup. Portland took this one 2-1. Jeremy Ebobisse scored the first goal, and I watched that goal so many times to figure out if it was offside or not. And to be fair, I still couldn't tell. And even with VAR, when it's that tight, I think you kind of have to give the advantage to the attacker. So I'm not too upset about that one. I know Seattle fans will probably be a little bit pissed off about that one. Jeremy Ebobisse is also a really, really cool story for me because he's 21 years old. He's an American product. He has played a lot in USL, in the lower divisions, and now has come back to get his shot in MLS, in the playoffs. Now he's scoring an important goal. I think that's super dope. They're coming back on Thursday for the return leg. And the question from you guys in here is B-Snip. Are Sounders MLS Cup favorites? No, I don't think so. I give them a legit shot at it, but like I said a little bit before, I still think Red Bulls, I still think Atlanta, I think Sporting KC, above all, they're still my number one favorite. I would maybe sneak Sounders in there around 4th or 5th, down the line, but I don't think they're favorites. I think Portland maybe showed a couple of their weaknesses, but I think I give them a shot, but I don't. If you push me on it, I'm not going to say they're going to be in or around there. I still think it's Sporting KC. And the last question for you guys is Timber Sounders. Who's going through? I also want to know in the comments if you think Ebobisse's goal was offside, because I feel like a few different people are going to disagree with me on that one. Last but not least, Real Salt Lake 1-1 against Sporting KC. Nick Rimando, bro, you hate to see it. I really hate when, especially with keepers that I like. Nick Rimando's been around forever. Dallied a little bit on the ball, didn't look super comfortable with the ball at his feet, gave away a goal. But Albert Rusnak scored his first ever goal in MLS, and that, one of the goals of the season, honestly. It has to be up there for one of the goals of the season, for when it happened, for the quality of the goal. A little 1-2, little chip, and the perfect volley. Unfortunately, he picked up a yellow card, so he's not going to get a chance to score another one in the second leg. But even though this one ended 1-1, even though Sporting looked a little bit wobbly at times, I still think they're going to win MLS Cup. But Peter Vermes has that team super organized. As I keep talking about, they have such a great team spirit. They've got a lot of guys who've been in that team for a really long time. Ike Opara, a really strong defense, a really strong midfield, and they're just a unit. And you know what you're going to get from Sporting KC because that franchise is so consistent. And I really think this is the year that another year that they're going to win. I think their defense is 3rd in the league. Their goal scorer, they're 4th in goal scoring. I just really think they're too solid all around, and I think when it comes time to playoffs like this is when they really shine. For you guys, again, RSL, Sporting KC, who's going through? Very simple. Those are the 4 questions. Just pick who you think is going through to the next round, who's going to win the second leg. And we got a couple more questions from you guys. Rascal1717, on a scale of 10 to 10, how cool was RSL's goal versus SKC? I'm going to give that one a solid 7.9. I think the 1-2 was sick. The technique on the volley was perfect, and on big stage in playoffs. So 7.9 out of 10. I think it's a solid score. All right, guys, last thing we're going to talk about today is the USL final, and I can feel, like, as soon as I said that, I can feel Pat somewhere just tingling, like in excitement, anticipation. Didier Drogba and Phoenix Rising are taking on Louisville City. In the conference semis, Phoenix traveled to Orange County SC with almost 1,000 fans, 7 buses full, which is incredible to see the support at that level. Phoenix beat OCSC, Orange County 2-1. Louisville City beat New York Red Bulls 5-1 in the other semifinal. Andrew is upset, which I understand. I get it. But the final itself is on Thursday night, and we're gonna see history either way. Phoenix Rising, which started in 2014, Didier Drogba could win their first ever title. Louisville City could be the first ever in history to win 2 in a row. So that's gonna be really exciting. I think Didier Drogba cut his hair off and went like reverse Samson, got a little bit more string, which is tight because he got rid of, it was time for it to go. So for that reason, because I love Didier Drogba, I'm gonna pick Phoenix, and I hope he scores a hat trick. So I'm pretty excited about that. Andre Peterman asks, I know this is all about MLS, but how about the USL Finals? What do you think the future holds for Phoenix Rising as a club? I think it's really dope to see how they've built up over the last 4 years. I'm really excited, honestly, to see Didier Drogba off the pitch. I want to see how he helps that club grow, pushes for MLS, pushes to become like a legitimate pillar of U.S. soccer. So I'm just really excited to see how they keep it going. So last week's shirt winner is Pedro Bravo Jr., and I'm gonna read you one of his responses because it's important. COPA90 shirt is what dreams are made of. It's true. I literally, you can't argue with that. My final shout out before we get out of here, guys, Copa Lib is on Sunday, and for the first time in history, Boca Juniors, River Plate are going head to head for the Copa Libertadores final. This is absolutely historic. Ellie is going to be doing a Derby Days about it. I think Pat's going to somehow end up in Argentina, or he's going to try and figure out a way out there. But I'm so excited for this one. If you love football, you know that this Derby is one of the greatest in just pure sports, honestly. Across all sports, it may be the most fierce rivalry in sports. But I'm wildly excited for that. And to be honest, that's going to do it for you guys, for us, for me, for all of us together. As always, thank you guys for joining us. Get down in the comments, holler at us, give us your picks for all the MLS playoffs. Holler at us about anything. Let us know what you want to talk about. And again, thank you. We'll be at you next time.